even in defeat. As long as Quins don't earn 2 more points than them at the Rico, 2 more points, then they will be there. Fortunately, Grace is going to be keeping in touch with the scores from all the other games around the country today. He has the brain of a mathematician. He won't let us down, old Grace. It's going to be a busy afternoon, though. No pressure.
You haven't seen my school report, have you, Nick?
And a strange old time for the Chiefs, been resting and rotating for the past month or so. Treading water, I guess, since they nailed down the playoffs in record-breakingly quick time back in March. They know, everybody around here knows, that it's high time they refix their game faces, Andy. Got back to business and readied themselves for the semi-final next weekend.
Yeah, watching them warm up, they look really powerful. They're looking great, Nick, and Don Armand has had a superb season. Matt Kovacic has been sensational, and this crowd, I think the way Rob Baxter was talking, they want to give something back to their supporters, and I think you'll see a special performance from them today.
Led out by our special player. A standing ovation at Sandy Park for Don Armand, his 100th Premiership game. If the fans picked their England team, certainly the fans around here, he'd have won 100 caps as well. However, he has plenty of love in the stands with the likes of Tony Rowe, the man who helped build this side to what it is today, and Don Armand on the pitch, one of those who helped turn it into champions not so long ago, and who knows, might turn them into champions again this season. Referee is Carl Dixon. 2 years ago, he was playing in this concluding weekend of the regular season. He was playing for Quins against Northampton, and here he is with a whistle today. Luke Pearce off to the World Cup as a referee with the flag today, and Gareth Holsgrove, best of luck to him, his Premiership debut. TMO is David Rose. All around the Premiership at Kingston Park, the AJ Bell, Welford Road, the Rico Six Ways, and here at Sandy Park for the first time this season, on the final day of the regular season, we're all clocking on at the same time. And that first airborne take by Courtney Laws, who has just been magnificent for Saints, particularly over the latter part of this season since he bedded himself back in after the Six Nations. 80 minutes left to decide who's finishing top, who'll be in the playoffs, who'll be in next season's Champions Cup. Still so much debate to be had as Noel comes forward and collides with Hutchinson. It's Saints ball again, and Reinach finding Lewis Ludlam, winning the shirt back ahead of Tom Wood today. Ludlam and Bigger, and this is Piers Francis starting again after his return from injury off the bench against Worcester 2 weeks ago. Bigger to Tuala, and then Collins, and now Jamie Gibson stretching his legs and trying to go behind Woodburn, which isn't the easiest task, and Woodburn drags him down, but Saints have trucked it up into Chiefs territory. Ludlam away to Bigger, and he just pops it up, and again it's Francis happy to take the hit. Saints have got a player down at the moment. Looks like Alex Waller, the captain, just inside Exeter's half.
Barney, draw offside, didn't retreat.
Chiefs offside, and they can play with some freedom here, and Gibson and Collins and Saints once again, as they have so far this season, starting at a burst, and Tuala, oh goodness me, it took a two-man tackle, but they're that close and it wasn't good enough, and Francis has scored, and once again Northampton opening the box of fireworks in double quick time.
That's a brilliant start from Northampton Saints. Started with the kick-off, Courtney Laws winning it in the air, getting the ball coming back, and then some great passing going here with Jamie Gibson out in the wider channels, showing his footballing ability, showing and going, putting the ball back on the inside to Tuala, who has the strength. Great covering tackle by Cuthbert, but great following up work by Collins to score.
Absolutely perfect start from Northampton. You wonder how to take on Exeter, a team who thrive with the ball in possession. If you kick it to them and kick it badly, you won't see it again for 15 minutes. But superb interplay there with the penalty advantage, and a great finish from Piers Francis.
My goodness, that was some score. And again, quick. Saints once again starting matches so quickly. They were 2 tries to the good very early on back in December at the Gardens against the Chiefs. And here at Sandy Park in May, in no time at all, they lead by 7 points to 0.
What was good about that play was they all looked comfortable on the ball. They had some really good width. Bigger, able to throw the long pass. Gibson carrying the ball in 2 hands, forcing Noel to make a decision, and some great support work.
And Laws takes the restart, as he did not so long ago, to take the kickoff.
Now use it, please. Now, please.
Reinach inviting Waller to come back in. Waller's fit, provided the extra brick of protection. And underneath his blue scrum cap, fullback today, Jack Noel takes the hit, gets back on his feet, scrambles over halfway.
No.
Dave Ewers runs into Alex Moon, one of those who's shone this season. And then Yendall, my goodness, there was no way through there. There very rarely is a way through when Courtney Laws is patrolling the alleyway. Maybe for Noel, he's snaked it up to the 10-metre line. And again, it's Ewers with Moon this time who takes the hit, runs into Ludlam. Simmons lays it back to Devoto. And Tanana Harrison is, and it's actually Reece Marshall who is down injured for the Saints at the moment. So again, we're having to operate a player down. Looks like Marshall has hurt his knee. And that's excellent defensive work, and Saints can get Reece Marshall back on his feet and draw breath. Now, the first try of the afternoon, Paul, where's it happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Sail out of the blocks almost as quickly as Northampton. On 1 minute, line-out play. Faf de Klerk round the back of the line-out, has a little look, drops AJ McGinty underneath. Ben Curry in support. Twin brother Tom outside him, under the post for a fantastic score.
Okay. I know they were legal, but once
Sale currently 7th in the table. 7th will probably be enough now for a Champions Cup place, but they will finish in the top 6 if they can better Bath's efforts. Bath at Leicester today. This is how the injury happened, Andy. Oh dear, a bit of hyperextension there.
Yeah, if you look at Marshall, he's got very long legs. You've got to be able to bend and use your flexibility when you're in the tackle contest area, jackling for the ball. Looks like he's got quite a serious knee injury.
And that's how things stand at the moment. A penny or a pint for every time we say as it stands over the next hour and a half. It's Reece Marshall stepped up in the absence of Dylan Hartley this season. Mike Hayward as well, who ordinarily I guess would have been the first choice hooker, has been injured. James Fish is back today, and that was the first time in a long time this week, Andy, when Chris Boyd had 4 of his 5 hookers training once again, and they're getting the players back at the right time.
They are getting the players back, and yes, they've used the squad really well, which meant they've brought in some really young players this year. And Fish and Marshall have had a lot of game time with Hartley's injury, and they've done really well.
Now there has been a try at Welford Road in the game between Leicester and Bath.
Well, these teams aren't going to die wondering. Bath out of the blocks. 2 minutes, good ball out from Freddie Burns. Anthony Watson, watch this, hangs the ball off his shoulder. McConaughey makes yet another line break. In support, Chudley onto the ball, almost gets to the line. And then Watson back on his bike, gets in support. Not going to stop him from there. Great start from Bath.
It's Anthony Watson's 100th Premiership game, and he's back to full fitness. Sadly, not Reece Marshall, and James Fish is introduced to the fray significantly earlier than he and Northampton would have wanted.
Those first 3 tries we've seen, what great support play. Isn't it great to see the way the players are now working hard off the ball? 3 cracking tries.
Yeah, we've had 1 hit, scored by Piers Francis, 5 minutes gone at Sandy Park. Free kick off that scrum for Northampton. Hutchinson got that ball in double quick time, back to Bigger. And now Naya Avoro for the first time. The big man, ball in hand. Bigger to Harrison. hauled to the floor by Joe Simmons. He'll be thrilled to see his brother Sam back on the bench for Chiefs today. Bigger. Laws was running the dummy line. Instead, it's Hutchinson who really has illuminated the Premiership this season. Courtney Laws takes some grappling to the floor. Harry Williams was doing what he could do. This is Ludlam. Airborne, goes bigger. Noel positions himself underneath it, but Tuala did very well to usher it back into the arms of Collins. And then Moon, and it was Johnny Hill having a fish around and came very, very close to hooking it. Ryanak looking at that ball quizzically. He knew, Paul, as soon as it hit it, that he got a little bit too much on that.
Yeah, they're into a reasonably stiff breeze, Northampton. While they went contestable the first time, but having recovered the ball, there was space in the backfield, but that little bit of breeze as the ball ran out of steam just blew it into touch.
There goes Woodward. Oh, he's lost that. Gathered in by Waller. Bigger weights. Ryanak looks. Here's the Welshman. And then Francis hoisted over the top to Naira Voro. That had the element of the forward about it.
Yeah, I'm very sure. Early push.
Chiefs are using, sorry, Northampton Saints are using quite a few long passes. They feel they can get into the outside channels in the 15-metre areas against the Exeter Chiefs defence, because the Chiefs are flying up and they're quite narrow in their defensive line currently.
Chiefs scrum to be fed by Nick White. Solid enough, 90% efficiency rate. Oh, and now it's a penalty. It was initially just a free kick, but upgraded to the penalty end.
Yeah, the call came in from Luke Pearce, saying that he'll have collapsed the scrum.
Luke Pearce patrolling that far side touchline.
It's interesting watching the way that Exeter Chiefs are trying to scrummage. You know, they're hitting and chasing, and you know, the Saints want them to be static so the ball can be put in. It'll be interesting how the referee will referee this over the next couple of scrums. You see them hitting straight away, straight to ground.
Hill under some pressure, but down very quickly, and via Kovacic into the arms of Devoto. That had real menace about it. Chiefs looking to fire some shots of their own. This time it was the captain Yendall, and then Kovacic almost with the no-look pass to scrum half White, who was bending back round. This is Kovacic and Armand once more. Devoto goes into release possession again for White. Simmons. And now Dave Dennis. Abrasive, effective, rumbling former Wallaby. There's the slightly younger Johnny Hill. First time ball in hand that Chiefs have punctured the 22, and they might profit from it immediately. There you go. All around us, on their feet to acclaim a try for Henry Slade. Oh, that was simple. The little kick beyond the punctured defence.
Great vision from Devoto to push the ball through. Seeing there's no sweeper, just kicks that ball through, sits up beautifully for Henry Slade.
That's great vision, that, knowing that the fullback's at the bottom of the pile in the middle of the field. You're never going to be able to recover and get your 9 in position as a sweeper. Ryanak already up in the line. Beautiful spot, thread the ball through. There's more than one way to score, not just bashing the front door down.
Great to see two young players showing the vision like that to score. But also, Grace, interesting, it came from a penalty at the scrum. And again, Northampton Saints have given a lot of penalties away this year.
They have been under pressure most of the season. In that regard, they've definitely made improvements, and they use it as an attacking launch pad. But You feel that if a team as strong as Exeter senses blood in that area, they're going to keep coming.
Oh, it's been a thoroughly entertaining start. Try a piece first for Piers Francis, or latterly Henry Slade for the Chiefs. And Bigger will bring this down just outside the 22. Dennis was up. A little bit of interference there from Jamie Gibson. Didn't get his timing quite right.
Timing just wrong. He's looked like he's trying to play the ball. Takes the arm, hooks the arm. Clear and obvious for the referee.
Now, if this ball finds touch, I'm going to go to 6 ways shortly. We'll just hold fire on that, see what develops from this line out. But there has been a score in the match between Worcester and Saracens. We'll be with Paul in a moment.
There, I was giving you the line. Please stay on the line. Come in. 5 man. Paul, on the line, please. Thank you.
Chiefs throw Jack Yendall. Hill steps forward and again quickly into the arms of White, who finds Devoto, and that's nice from Woodburn coming in off his wing. He's got Collins to get behind. Wonderful stepping, wonderful driving, all round wonderful.
What you won't see, and hopefully we'll be able to see on the TV in a minute, is a great blocking line by Harry Williams. He takes out Reinach at the back of the line out. They're really worried about Reinach flying off, and it's a great set-piece play. Just watch Harry Williams at the back. He just blocks Reinach out of the way, creates the space, and superb by Ollie Woodburn running through there.
I just wonder whether David Rose, the TMO in our truck, might want to have another look at that. We're holding the conversion because that's exactly what David Rose is looking at the moment.
I think it's fair play. I think it's a great running line by Harry Williams.
Taking the final pass.
Oh, was there a hint of a forward pass as well? Maybe.
I think that little flick back inside from Simmons, once they'd managed to deal with Reinach, who does, he tries to get into position to get an intercept from that line out. He's scored lots of tries from it. Williams does well as the ball's popped up there. Little basketball, it's forward for me.
So Devoto to Woodburn.
Okay, Carl.
Yes.
These are all the angles we've got now. It's the best angle. It's definitely thrown forward from Devoto.
It looks like it's been pushed forward. It's gone forward from his hands.
Yeah.
To a player. Okay. No,
No. From a neutral's perspective, they have just taken a work of art off the gallery wall.
Come and ask me a question. No one else. And we'll look at it. Okay. Thank you.
Ali Heifer, a little rueful shake of the head. You'll know that feeling, and you work so hard on the training pitch during the week. You pull it off, and then it's rubbed out.
Yeah, just
what a great plan that was, and he's never passed it forward in the training ground, not under pressure, and suddenly there he goes.
It's a sign of just how profitable he has been here. He's scored more tries than anybody else at Sandy Park in the Premiership. We've not forgotten about 6 ways, by the way. Paul's still waiting to tell us who's scored the try. Is it Worcester or is it Saracens?
So if you see there, Nick, yeah, they hit Exeter just hitting and chasing. You're not allowed to do that, and it's clear and obvious again to the referee.
So, to 6 ways. Paul, what's happening?
Worcester getting in on the action, Nick, against Saracens. Francois Hogard with the ball here. Ethan Waller with the good footwork in the outside break, and Michael Fatialofa in support to finish well. 7-3 Worcester.
Well, Worcester know that if they win, they definitely finish 10th. Doesn't matter what Leicester get up to against Bath. Bath at the moment winning at Welford Road, remember. Reinach beyond Fish, the replacement hooker, came on early for Reece Marshall. If you're just joining us, off the floor to Tuala, but we don't need a TMO to see that that was forward.
So close in their attacking play from Northampton Saints. Some really good lines, some really good intricate passing. This offload from Tom Collins just a touch forward.
Chris Boyd fascinating this week alongside the attacking coach Sam Vester there, talking about how you win rugby matches when your cattle, as he called them, very often aren't as big as their cattle and you have to devise plans, fast feet, fast hands, to get beyond defences who are keen to smash you.
Well, he faced this when he was the Hurricanes coach. He had a lighter pack, and they're very confrontational the way they play. They do, you know, they're very quick from the set piece, moving the ball away, and they're quite dynamic in getting to the outside channels. And they've got to get their handling right, and that's the key to this. Get the accuracy from that.
This time, having conceded penalties, Chiefs scrum drives forward a metre or so, and Slade picks out Woodburn with precision, and Collins brings him down. And now Noel.
Advantage is now over.
Noel still going. Well, that's gone forward.
Knock on advantage.
So with the advantage, Naivavoro. And the earth in Devon just shakes a little.
No! This ball's still in the tackle zone.
What's Dan Biggar going to do with this? Just to reiterate, that breeze is definitely from right to left in this first half. So Biggar and Northampton playing it into their faces at the moment.
Nick,
now,
it's a dead ruck.
another try.
Still in the ruck.
Paul, where are we going?
Off to Coventry to the Ricoh Arena. Good score here. Nathan Houston, the advantage from the scrum. Sopoaga out the back. Daly on the drift to the outside. Feeds LaRue. Afterburners on out to Bassett. Fantastic try.
Have a look at what that means near the top of the table in a moment or two. Meantime, Hutchinson trying to use those fast hands, and Biggar and Harrison, more abrasive sandpaper. He trucks it up. Naivavoro, nothing fine about him. He is scouring defenders down that wing, and well, fair play to Jack Noel. He got down low and he got down effectively. Noel, the last line of defence at fullback today. He's fit again after a sore ankle. Santi Cordero, who we feared season had come to an end, the Chiefs' career had come to an end, is being nursed back to full fitness, and he will play his part in the playoffs, we're hearing. But today it's Noel at fullback. White, that's gone very high. It needed to be gathered in by Biggar. He got there first, but he couldn't hold on to it.
Advantage over.
White hoisted up on the breeze, and the bounce beats Hutchinson, and Woodburn tearing after this, and Collins, and now Slade, and a little bit of footballing skill, and Slade might be in here. Oh, he controlled it wonderfully, and then Piers Francis got back, played it off the floor to Gibson, and Biggar will find Collins. And now Ludlam, who looked to his right-hand side and realised he was the only man, so drives it up to the 22. Little peep of the whistle. It's an extraordinarily open game.
Oh, what a great attitude from Northampton Saints. Under real pressure, Piers Francis dives on the ball. A little bit of Keystone Cops going on with the ball just bouncing anywhere. As we see with the wind coming from the southwest, ball just bouncing all over the place. Nobody really wanted to commit themselves to go down on it. And I thought here that Henry Slade was going to score, but really brave by Francis to get down on the ball. And then what an attitude from the Saints to suddenly get an offload away. A lot of sides would just kick this ball, but because they keep the ball in hand, keep playing, they manage to get a penalty and they'll be able to exit out this area.
Stand back on, please.
Chris, we know that Northampton concede a lot of penalties. They concede the highest in the Premiership. But Chris Boyd saying this week that the nature, the way they play the game, the risk means that will happen. But he sleeps comfortably at night because of what they're trying to develop.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see there in unscheduled free play, the instinct of the side that he's cultivated is to understand that there is some space from this situation, and then to have the skills and the bravery to go and do it. Every now and again they're going to get exposed and maybe turn the ball over here and there and concede a penalty, and likewise in defence they're desperate to get the ball back in play so they chance their arm.
But he didn't want to give Exeter a line out in their own 22, did they?
Won by Laws. Reinach, and then Hutchinson takes the hit from Simmons as he was going down. And Reinach again holding it up for Harrison, who very nearly got the ball off the floor. Instead it's Slade who offers the threat.
No, it's not out.
Ewers was poised to get the ball via the pass. In the end he had to go in and pick it up off the floor himself. White to Yendel. A little bit scruffy around the feet, and Saints will have the scrum.
The Saints trying to move the ball in the manner they do. They probably just need to give themselves an extra second on the ball to see the support. They've had a number of forward passes, a couple of offloads gone to ground. Similarly, for the Chiefs and the way they're playing at the moment, they had one great attack inside the Saints 22, but apart from that, they've conceded a couple of turnovers sloppily for them.
Yeah, I'm inside.
It's the 10th sold-out Sandy Park of the season. The Devon County show is on down the road. There it is. That's where we're going later, lads.
Stand back on. Who's on that?
Although I might leave that big swirly thing to you guys, and I'll get the candy floss.
I get motion sickness, so I won't be on there.
Will there be tractors there, do you think? If there are tractors, we are definitely going.
Probably Peppa Pig as well.
It's the kind of place that Flatman would have a season ticket if there are tractors, and he was allowed to ride on them.
Crouch!
Goodness me, what a choice today.
Bind!
The fairground or this? We're sticking with the rugby for the time being. Reinach to Bigger. Oh, and Hutchinson again. Linking up neatly, but Francis off his head.
Off his head!
So we can go again, Carl Dixon tells us.
Can you just have a look for an early tackle there, please?
This is Alex Moon.
Tackle release!
Well, there's been another try at the Rico. We'll be heading there fairly shortly. It's Harrison.
Sorry?
Nothing in it. Play on.
Okay, play on.
Ludlam under some pressure from Kovacic. Simmons to Knoll. Looking up. Having an assess of the options. That went forward. So back we can come. Now at the Rico, Grace.
Back to the Rico, score standing at 7-3. Nice little bounce out here from Smith onto Mike Brown. Physical carry from Brown, shrugging off the defender. Danny Kerr in with a tip-on pass. Tapuai straightens. Sopawanga could do a lot better than that, but Joe Marchant, great determination to score and converted 8-7.
And that is a really significant score in terms of what's going on here. You can be absolutely sure that Northampton's coaching staff will know all about that and the significance, therefore, in terms of the playoffs.
We asked the question.
As things stand, with Quins winning, they at the moment are heading into the semi-finals.
Okay.
Still an awfully long way to go.
Stand back on them, please.
People like Ben Franks know that.
I suspect that might not be the last try update we get, Nick.
Joe Marchant's had some season, hasn't he? Goodness me.
He's a talented boy, great feet. And you just need an opportunity, don't you, at that age? A good run in the team, stay fit. It's amazing how quickly they come on.
Midway through first half here at Sandy Park. Naira knocking down walls. That was Australian on Australian. Nick White, the man to feel the pain. That's a loose pass, and Woodburn tearing after it. Tuala sweeping up on the floor and then getting up and going beyond Slade, who was determined that he wouldn't go much further than the 10-metre line. Laws. And Dennis holding on for all his worth. Bigger, desperate for fast ball that the Chiefs are denying Saints at the moment. Reinach in the end with his own high kick, and again Knoll trying to position himself underneath it, and once more Bigger, who is just the world's best. Waller, Hutchinson, Reinach beautifully away, and Gibson, what about this? They're opening up, get space at the moment for Naira Avoro to try and exploit, but tackle needed to be made and was by Cuthbert. And as well as Saints, as brilliantly as Saints are playing ball in hand, Chiefs defence also standing up.
Absolutely, we mentioned those two in the build-up to the game. Cuthbert and Naira Avoro, brilliant ball there from Reinach as he hits the line, and a wide out from Jamie Gibson. Naira Avoro is massive and he's in the mood. That's a brilliant hit from Cuthbert to knock him down. You've got to go hard, you've got to go low, you've got to make it stick. and then it's just loose to play the extra pass and get bundled into touch, and that's how most Northampton possessions are ending at the moment.
And you saw that with the tackle that Noel put on him as well when he turned the ball over out in that wider channel. If they could just recycle that ball, there are acres of space, they could score quite comfortably.
Dan Bigger back on his feet. Sonov warming up.
Okay, of course there is.
He is some player, Dan Bigger, though, isn't he? The catch, the amount of look at the launch there to get above Noel, dominate the space, perfect technique. He does take some hammer for a 10 as well. He's absolutely committed to the cause.
This is how he hurt himself. He's made the kind of impact you would want a big money signing to make in your first Premiership season. They paid a lot of dough for him, but they've got some return.
He is absolutely 100% committed to the club and to making every moment count, which is superb.
For the time being, James Grayson can put his tracksuit back on. Dan Bigger looks fine. Some more defence work needed here, however, because Chiefs have trucked it up beyond the 22, and Cuthbert in attack, not quite so slick.
That was brilliant work from the Exeter forwards. Really strong maul, and creating the space on the short side.
Okay.
White sees it.
Just make sure we don't throw across.
Sums up how Exeter have gone in this first half. They've just dropped too many balls, too many turnovers. The handling hasn't been precise enough. Probably haven't played for 3 weeks, and it's showing at the moment.
Come up, Black.
Reinach, Bigger. And this is Lewis, Ludlam. And Laws takes the big hit from Johnny Hill, 5 on 5. Grayson gritting his teeth. Oh. Simmons and Devoto. Got some height on that as well, and Woodburn will hair after it. Tuala on his own 10-metre line. Oh, he did well to escape beyond them. Brilliant stuff from Arsi Tuala. And here goes Reinach. He's rather on his own at the moment, but he doesn't need any help. He's creating mayhem all on his own, and now he has some white shirts up in support. One of them was Ludlam and Bigger, and here's Fish. Reinach goes the other way to the captain, Waller. It's a lovely movement and momentum about Northampton when they get going. And here's Hutchinson, so often at the centre of things, and scoring. Oh, what a score on the shortlist for the Premiership's discovery of the season. Defence is well aware of his threat at the end of it.
And we just got to look at this incident here. Did Tom Collins block Woodburn? It looks as if he was both running back towards the ball. The referees have allowed it to happen. Reinach, he's had a superb season, so quick, but great support play by Ludlam. Gets the pass over. And Hutchinson's had a superb season. Great balance on the ball. Finishes fantastically well.
Just running back together. That's all it is.
Okay, I'm not checking anything. Okay.
Well, you've heard Timo David Rose explaining to Carl Dixon exactly what you just explained, Andy. It was just a couple of blokes running back together and nothing in it.
Northampton Saints have really threatened this. They've made a couple of line breaks, just not being able to recycle the ball with Navarro out in the outside channels. But there, Hutchinson ran a great line, and brilliant to see the way that they've been playing in this first half into the wind.
A try and a conversion from Dan Bigger that puts Northampton back in the playoffs. We'll have that confirmed in a moment. One more look at it. And that's the kind of form that's attracted the attention of Gregor Townsend, who was on the phone a month or so ago, and now very much part of Scotland's World Cup plans. Rory Hutchinson, he's in the training squad this summer. Simmons goes long to Tuala, who started that try, and then Bigger. No messing around on this occasion, just clear your lines.
Tuala's looked really good today. I think he's done really well under the high ball. He's made, under pressure, has made some really good line breaks.
Over 15.
Dennis tumbling backwards. Simmons, Slade, Noel up in support, and now Hutchinson trying to win that back, but shoved off. A wave of black hit him. And this is Ollie Woodburn. Dennis. Ollie Devoto. Chiefs with them. A couple of hot steppers in midfield, Devoto and Slade. Yendall trucks the ball up. Slade this time part of the clear-out crew.
No, sit. Hey, get out.
Cuthbert.
Rock form. Rocket form.
Penalty Chiefs. Being told that
Time's up, please.
was going to score at the AJ Bell. The Sale Gloucester game. We're just waiting to see what. I'll tell you what, Grace. Let's do it. Let's take the risk. Live life dangerously. What's happening in Cheshire? Yeah.
More action from the AJ Bell. Matt Banahan on his 200th Premiership appearance wanders through some fairly passive Sale defence. Scores underneath the sticks. Converted. Gloucester go ahead 21-19.
It's interesting, Gloucester locked into third place. Only they and Newcastle, the teams that can't actually move up or down the table today. Bath at the moment just hanging on to Champions Cup qualification, down in 6th.
Okay.
This is how Piers Francis hurt himself.
It looked like a bit of a stinger, shoulder injury, just got caught on the side. His right arm, and Ludlam came in and hit at the same time, which with the collision from him probably put his arm in a shoulder in a difficult position.
He has had an ongoing shoulder issue for a while, Piers Francis. He's a warrior. He patches himself up and cracks on. Got half an eye on the summer too. Doesn't want the England conversation to end.
Exeter putting themselves into their favourite part of the county, about 5 metres from the try line with a line out to follow. Defensively, Andy, how do Saints deal with this? How would you deal with this if you're trying to set up this line-up?
Well, you've got to compete in the air, you've got to try and win the ball. They've got such a great maul.
Waited to compete on the floor and then try and cause some mayhem. Yendall controlled it. Here goes Dave Ewers, driving through. What determination. Approaching the half-hour mark. Chiefs looking for the try that might draw them level. Nearly there. Oh, Ludlam had his hands on the ball. In the end, he had to give it up. And Ewers from that distance. I was going to say unstoppable. Maybe he was stoppable, and if he was, that's outstanding Saints defence.
You've gone off your feet.
Yeah, they were putting the bodies on the line. I think Lewis Ludlam was really unlucky there. He was on his feet, he had the ball.
Check if he hasn't rolled it onto the line afterwards.
Okay,
the first instinct gets held up, okay? Ignore it.
Matt Kovacic and Alex Waller having a bit of a chuckle. I think we caught the end of that conversation. There's just a bit of concern from Luke Pearce, the assistant ref, that the ball was placed on somebody's leg and then maybe rolled onto the floor.
To begin with, Rosie. Just checking if he rolls it onto the line afterwards, but I haven't got it around.
Okay, Rosie, try yes or no, please.
Okay, stand by.
Looks held up.
So look, you had held up first on his leg, over the line or before the line?
Just hold on, Carl. We'll just get another angle for you. Just hang on a minute.
No, I'm just talking to Luke, okay.
And it's Alex Waller who goes in, and it will be Alex Waller's leg that prevents the try, if that's indeed what it's done.
That's great defensive work by Alex Waller. uses his leg to get it underneath and trap the ball. That ball hasn't hit the line.
Well, from this distance,
Okay,
I think most of us were thinking that
held up,
that
Scrum
had to be a
5.
try.
Impossible to stop the height he carried the ball, Ewers, but Alex Waller done a sensational job there, that initial hit, just to repel the drive and then to get something underneath it.
With that ball, over the line, hold up.
Phenomenal.
Hold up over the line.
Now it's a big scrum for Exeter Chiefs. They've been hitting and chasing. They really feel they can dominate in this area. It's going to take all of Saints' 8 players working together technically.
Chiefs put in. Going to go again.
Going down far side.
Henry Williams and Alex Waller ear to ear, shoulder to shoulder on that far side, Andy.
Smart play by Waller. Hits the floor, gets a reset, puts some doubt in the referee's mind.
Seems he's really grown into himself over the last couple of years. Not so long ago, he was one of those coming through via the academy, and now in the absence of Dylan Hartley, he's skippering the side.
Yeah, he stepped up very, very well.
Pressure was on that Saints scrum, but the pressure of a different kind now. White looking to whip that ball away. Don Armand.
Second advantage.
On we go. More Chiefs advantage, and again it's Ewers, ball in hand, threatening the try line. Devoto waits for it. What kind of step has he got? Ooh, again, that defence is just magnificent, led by Laws and Harrison.
Two penalties. Scrum fence over there, or offside over here? The offside is on the 15 over there.
That's about 20 metres infield.
This one? Okay.
Working out which penalty is closest to the touchline, Andy, because I think we know what's coming.
Offside. Number 14.
Or do we? Maybe not.
Looks like he's going to kick
No,
to the
just
corner.
Yeah.
I thought the position he had there and how dominant the scrum has been, I thought he might have gone for a scrum there, particularly to put Waller under pressure.
Half an hour gone at Sandy Park. The earliest of tries for Piers Francis for Northampton. Henry Slade responding for the Chiefs, and then Rory Hutchinson putting Saints back ahead, and that's where we are. 10 minutes to the break. And the match that Saints need to win to guarantee their place in the playoffs. It's gone over the top, and here goes White, and he's twisting and he's turning. Jack Yandel comes in. He was just merely part of the crew trying to muscle the ball over the line, and James Fish doing what he can to stop them. Once again, that line being peppered by Chiefs shirts, Chiefs hands, Chiefs ball, and this time the peppering leads to the scoring. And it's Ben Moon. 11th season as a Chief, season when he became an England player, scoring for the Chiefs.
Well, they're the best in Europe at being able to score from 10 metres out. Everybody knows their role. They get so low. They know where the line is. It took great defence by Northampton to stop them. The play before, but Moon gets over the line. Really good body heights.
Square at 14 points apiece because of Ben Moon's try.
It came from scrappy play. Gibson got in the air. Northampton Saints thought they got the turnover. Unfortunately, White wins that first bounce. Unfortunately for the Chiefs, and great finish.
James Grayson restarting for Northampton because Dan Biggers headed off to have some bloods attended to. It's gone out on the full, the apology, and Chiefs will restart with their own scrum.
Caught out by the same breeze that got Reinach earlier in the game. Not ideal though, having just conceded to be back defending a midfield scrum.
So let's see what that try has done to the top of the table.
Crouch!
We'll get that in a moment. Let's just see where this scrum goes.
Early through the mark, 1.
Give you a
Number 1,
sneak
early through the mark.
preview. Oh, in fact, we
Scrum
can
again?
give you it now. Forget
Scrum again,
previews.
please.
Here it is.
But hold your weight,
Because
please.
Wasps have taken the lead with a penalty at the Rico, it means that Saints, although they're not winning this at the moment, are still ahead and still in 4th. It's got the feeling of an afternoon that might well take us all the way to the 85th, 86th minute.
Well, I
even.
hope so.
Yeah.
It's great entertainment.
Come on. When being pre-engaged all game, let's hold our weight, please. It's the only issue I have in the game. We've got to stay stable before the ball's coming. Thank you. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Over 5 minutes to half-time.
Stage!
Energetic opening 35 minutes in Devon.
Advantage!
Chiefs advantage at the scrum. Just beginning to get a little turn of the screw in that area, you wonder, Andy.
Great scrummaging by Exeter Chiefs. They went for a long scrum. They wanted to keep the ball in there. The referee was just about to shout, use it, but they then got the nudge on, which then gives them another penalty. They're going to be back into the Saints 22, and we know how good they are, this Exeter Chiefs side, when they get into this 22-metre area.
Well, we've not been short of scores at the AJ Bell, and we've had another ball.
It's all go at the AJ Bell. Nick, AJ McGinty having a stormer. Lovely little show and outside break here. Linked onto John O'Ross. De Klerk in support. And the poacher himself, Chris Ashton, gets over. Took them ahead 24-21. But Gloucester have already hit back.
And that bonus point score for Sale means that they will be in the Champions Cup next season. They'll finish in the top 6, and that might open up 7th place as a qualification route as well.
Off feet, 7!
If you're finding this all a little confusing, you're not the only ones. White, oh, he goes on his own, and he was so close to scoring. Dennis was in proximity, and now Williams, head down, trying to wheelbarrow the ball over. Piers Francis at the centre of that defensive effort. Moon's not far away. It won't be him, or Chiefs still have the try. They're just unstoppable. So close to the try of the prize line. And try scored by Don Armand.
Northampton's strategy was to try and keep Exeter as far away from their own 22 as they can. Unforced error from the kick-off. Just open the door. Once they're in there, they are so ruthless.
And it's a great leg drive that they have. When you watch every Exeter Chief ball carrier, they get so low, but also it's the acceleration of their feet, the driving and the pumping of their legs that carries them over the line.
His 100th Premiership game. Another Premiership try for Don Armand.
Also backed up with viewers right behind him, driving him over.
I'm trying to call you up and help you.
250 kilograms, driving over the line.
Grayson. High restart. Secured by Dennis. Will Whitty's on his way from Newcastle over the summer. He'll be an extra option for for Rob Baxter, for Rob Hunter, the forwards coach. And Woodburn herring after this. Tuala underneath it, just over halfway. Slap back on the Chiefs side, picks up by White. 2 tries in quick succession from Moon and then Armand to take the lead, and now Cuthbert looking to stretch that lead. Saints need to batten down some hatches as half-time approaches. Noel, and Johnny Hill striding through, looking for what would be a bonus point try. White again, and Armand once more. Just beginning to pick at the frayed edges of Northampton's defence here. And Hill through the centre. Williams shaped to go. It's a penalty, and it's more than that. It's a yellow card. Pointed in the direction of Courtney Laws.
Get over here.
My goodness, Exeter have just found another gear.
Absolutely, and it's a bad few minutes for Northampton, but just shows the levels that Exeter were at before the recent loss of form with their extended break, with nothing to play for, that emotional vacuum that Rob Baxter had talked about. Well, they certainly found it now. It's taken them half an hour to get going, but you see the raw power.
Penalty.
You get to a point where all you can do to stop them is deliberately infringe, which Courtney did there, stuck his hand through just to try and buy his team another second, spotted by the referee. It's going to be a long 10 minutes post half-time without him.
Northampton will hope that these aren't the defining minutes of the match, but they have been tough ones from an East Midlands perspective. 10 more even tougher ones ahead without Laws.
It's gone down this side. No. Just gone down. We're just going to stay high.
Chris Boyd, life not quite as rosy as it was 10 minutes ago.
Thank you.
It just shows you how quickly, when you get the momentum, playing with the wind, Exeter Chiefs got a bit of momentum. They've started to hold on to their passes. Great break by Cuthbert there in the outside channel, and superb support work.
It's worth underlining again, as we will all afternoon, that as much as they are still losing, because Quins are at the Rico in terms of the playoffs, they're still all right. Northampton, they're still in fourth.
You've gone slightly early, and you've gone slightly late after that. We've got to hold our weight, please. I agree. We've got to hold, please.
Northampton Saints are trying to buy a penalty here. They're only putting... They've only got 7 forwards in the scrum.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Now the rumble. Kovacic controlling it, arching his back, penalty coming. White might go on his own, held up by Reinach. Has he managed to smuggle that ball down?
Held up, we're going back for the advantage.
Carl Dixon was in the perfect position, back we come.
It's a penalty, you've got the advantage. One. Okay, it's 4 penalties against you. That was you going to me under pressure. Okay, I need you to stay up. Next one, you know where we go.
It's that kind of area as well, Grace, so close to the try line that you can't afford to put a back in that scrum. You've got to cover it defensively.
No, absolutely, and the 7 against 8. If you put one of your backs in there, it should be a stroll in.
You'll be going scrum again?
I mean, he's fighting hard, Alex Waller, but under that much pressure, you've either got to accept that you're going to go backwards and hope their number 8 knocks it on in the act of scoring, or you give a penalty away. The last thing Northampton want to do is to go down to 13, because ultimately, they can get a point out of this game by scoring 2 more tries. It's not all about, it's not necessarily winning. If they can hang on in there, maybe get a bonus point or 2 bonus points, that could be enough.
The Saints started the day at 1 point better off than Harlequins, but they've won more matches and they've got a much better points difference, which may well be significant when we bring the auditors in to finish off the books.
We're not going to get out of here cheaper. We need to make sure we scrummage, please.
The battle right now.
Let's go, please.
Centering on the tight head Harry Williams and the loose head Alex Waller. All of this happening from Waller's perspective without the bulk of Courtney Laws behind him.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Chiefs penalty. Now on another card. And it's the captain, and it's Alex Waller, and this is unravelling at a rate of knots for Northampton.
As soon as that scrum went down, Carl Dixon, once he's given the penalty to Exeter Chiefs, he has no option. He's got a sin bin, Alex Waller.
No, just gonna wait for us.
He feels that Alex Waller's done is pulled Harry Williams down. Alex Waller will argue against that, but that's what the referee saw, and that's why he's made the decision.
Right, so this is going to take some sorting out. This is Francois van Veek, South African, who's been quietly excellent all season. He's introduced with his scrum in a right old pickle here, Andy.
It is an interesting one, this, because if they'd have put it back into the scrum and Exeter had moved the ball, they would have stayed with 14 men. They might have scored in the corner. They might have knocked the ball on. So it's one of those where it seemed inevitable that Exeter were going to keep the ball in the scrum and try to get the penalty, try to get a penalty try.
Yeah, absolutely. Now with Tom Collins being sacrificed to get Van Veek onto the pitch, you lose your back and you've lost your prop.
Crouch! Bind!
These are moments of high peril for Northampton. Moments of great opportunity for the Chiefs, looking to secure top spot once again this season. And Devoto, oh, he's been intercepted, and here's Reinach. No one will stop him. It's a coronation run through most of Devon. Oh, what a finish to this first half. Chiefs pressing for the score. And it's Northampton and Cobus Reinach who get us all off our seats and bring Northampton back into the bun fight.
Grace, you said he was quick. He is lightning quick, isn't he?
Have a look at this. Look who's chasing him down. He is pulling away at a rate of knots. He is incredibly quick, over distance, an absolute gamble. They thought they were walking in. Exeter, complete gamble from Cobus, nothing to lose. He's been spectacular for Northampton this season.
And a long-distance score that puts him to the top of the Gallagher Premiership try-scoring charts. And the conversion from James Grayson, and what a first 40 minutes. My goodness. The tries in chronological order: Francis, Slade, Hutchinson, Moon, Armand, and dramatically at all, Cobus Reinach. Factor into that 2 yellow cards for Courtney Laws and Alex Waller. There's still work for Northampton to do at the start of the second half, but half-time, 21 points apiece.
please show your appreciation for something fabulous Sun Total raised. And before we bring on our halftime singer, we'd like to thank our match sponsors today, Devon Distillery, and welcome onto the field our halftime entertainment, Mr. Brian Sandy. Actually, points, 0.631. You won the Exeter Chiefs signed shirt. Now let's go over to the Otter crew with Derek down in the Holt. And a few birthdays as we go over. Happy birthday, Jacob Orchard, 5 today. On court 5. Charlie Brayhook, Ward 12. Charlotte Kopp, 17. Now we get a bit older, so I won't read out the numbers. Matt Hansford, happy birthday. Jordan Tunnicliffe, happy birthday. Tracy Mallard, happy birthday. Trevor Aythorpe, happy birthday. Jane Parks, happy birthday. Amy Morton, happy birthday. And Adrian Proust, happy birthday. And Ian would like to wish his wonderful wife a happy wedding anniversary. Right, we've got about 3 minutes to go. That's a dreadful one. But it's a lovely kilt. Getting a pep talk from Derek, which did no good. Come on, Derek. Your coaching technique's being called into question. This lady's laid her head in a fox. Never mind. Yes! Oh, nearly, nearly. Here comes the monster. I can vouch for the fact he is poached. Oh, that's not a bad actor, though. Imagine what he'd be like sober. That's a good effort. No legs. And that's a hook. They're all congratulating themselves though. There's a lot of love going on. Right, are we down? We've got 1 minute, Patrick. We've got to get this chase on the ground. So we're on the big screens in a sec. Derek, how are things down on the river? What I've been meaning to ask you is, what is it like sharing your river with a load of people? That's enough of that. Madam, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Emily and I'm from Cornwall!
You're on Cornwall again, so you know where I am. And are you here enjoying the game?
Yes, I'm on my head too.
I wouldn't have guessed. It says pride and you're dressed like... Right, the rules are really simple, Emily. Derek goes on the first whistle, you go on the second whistle and get grass stains over your lovely white sweatshirt. Are we ready, Patrick? 3, 2, 1, go, Derek! 3, 2, 1, go, Emily! Careful, officer. This is Emily's moment to shine. As she's forward, she's going up forward. Tail wheel, don't the big inches. This is vintage Derek. Come on, Des. Let her get you. Go on, Emily. Oh, those nuts. Come on, Emily, put your shoulder into him. You may look big, but it's all for her. That's a lovely textbook tackle. Now, recover your wind. Recover your balls. And score in the draft. Point on Rambo. Derek coming down. You horrible beast. She's going in. Taxi's going, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Derek the Otter and Emily from Cornwall. And please welcome back to the field our visitors, Northampton Saints. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and welcome back to the field.
Well, it was a busy enough first 40 minutes, and then we had the kerfuffle at the end of that first half in the tunnel area. Rob Baxter being barged as he wandered back to the dressing rooms. Paul, just explain what that was all about.
Well, the question arose because obviously the clock was in the red and we were 2.5 or 3 minutes into time added on. Northampton with 2 players in the sin bin would have wanted James Grayson to take his full 90 seconds to take the conversion. And the referee told him that the clock was dead. He interpreted that as time didn't count and took the kick. So they're going to have to ride out the storm, but they could have ticked away 90 seconds from the double sin binning.
Actually, more significantly, along with the return of Dan Bigger from his blood bin spell, and also we're hearing he passed an HIA as well while he was being patched up, but Bigger's back with us. It's also worth pointing out, because that first half lasted so long here, they're already 5-6 minutes into the second half at the Rico in the game between Wasps and Quins. Quins and Northampton trying to win that final playoff spot. So Northampton will probably have around 5 minutes here, knowing exactly what they need to do should it come to it at the end of the match. All fun and games on this final day of the regular season. And we will, of course, keep you bang up to date with everything that's happening around the country in this second half. Devoto to Woodburn. Let's not forget either that this has been a fabulous game of rugby in the middle of all the mayhem, and that's gone loose. Here's Hutchinson, one of the try scorers. James Fish, the replacement hooker, on early on for Reece Marshall. If you're recently new to us, there is Fish and away quickly to Hutchinson, but that went forward. Peep of the whistle, referee Carl Dixon.
And they were having to play with only 12 men then, because Reinach is down in the corner. Looks like he's got a serious leg injury.
This is how it happened. Get his right leg trapped in the middle of that tackle.
Made a great spot tackle there coming in. It's the power of Woodburn going through him. Just puts pressure through again through the legs.
Actually, it's the left knee.
Just buckled underneath him. Done some damage to his lateral collateral ligament on the outside of his knee. He's a brave player, as Cobus. He plays way above his weight, throws himself around. He just got trapped underneath Woodburn there.
His replacement on the bench is Alex Mitchell. Should he be needed. Big football day today, of course, I'm sure you already know, and across on BT Sport 2 right now, the FA Cup final at Wembley, Manchester City against Watford. Oval ball wise, we'll have highlights from the final day of this regular season tonight, BT Sport 3, 10 o'clock, and we'll start to look ahead to the playoffs on Wednesday evening. Rugby tonight, BT Sport 1 at 8 o'clock, and both semi-finals next Saturday back-to-back here on BT Sport, here and at Allianz Park. We're on air at 1:45 to find out who will go to Twickenham. By the way, if you'd like to be part of the fun and games on Wednesday night in the audience in Stratford and East London, join us in the studio, then email audience@rugbytonight.com for tickets, audience@rugbytonight.com. In the middle of all that, the good news is that Reinach back with us.
White. Loose head, elbow on the floor.
Loose head, floor.
The loose head is
Far side, loose head.
Francois Fonfake, the prop who's come on to replace Alex Waller while he serves out his yellow card. A reminder that Courtney Laws as well, still on the naughty boys step. There's a lot for Saints to contend with at the moment. Yeah,
they're under huge pressure. Their fifth scrum penalty, again called in by Luke Pearce, the assistant referee, for the elbow of Van Vig, aimed at the floor. So the right decision made. It's a collapse scrum. It's a great platform for the Chiefs to play off.
A couple of minutes left on the Courtney Laws sin binning, by the way. 5 or 6 minutes still for Waller to sit out as Hill, under some pressure from Gibson, gathers the ball. There's a penalty coming as a result of that. Devoto and then Simmons, and this is Knoll. Naya Rivoro was on him in a flash, nothing doing, back we come.
And this is the coach's frustration. Jamie Gibson is nowhere near the ball there. He doesn't need to play the player in the air, the Exeter Chiefs player in the air. He's made contact in the air. It's a simple penalty for the referee to give, and from their own line, the Chiefs have got 2 penalties, and now they're going to be attacking in the Northampton Saints 22. Need to improve their discipline, the Saints.
That's the left-footed Henry Slade who will drill this as close to the 22 as he can. We talked about the concession of those penalties. Sometimes they are needed, particularly when the lighter boats are scrabbling on the floor and maybe taking a few risks, but that penalty was entirely avoidable.
Totally needless.
And as a result, Chiefs line out with Yendall. Won by Dennis. Kvesic backing away with it. White. Devoto offered himself. Instead it was Simmons, and here goes Cuthbert taking on the tackling skills of Hutchinson. Ewers hold on to it long. Instead it was Dennis again. He's been prominent in these big ball carrying moments for Exeter so far, as has that man, Don Armand, although that wasn't clean. Went forwards. Ludlam comes away with it for Northampton.
Advantage over now.
Harrison lays it back. Slung back to Bigger, who fires it up towards halfway, and Courtney Laws down below us wanders back onto the pitch. Saints from 13 players to 14 players.
Say the line, please, Red. Numbers, please, Black.
Here's Devoto, and this is Kvesic. Slade. And now Cuthbert. White once again to Dennis. Slade. Moon. One of the try scorers. Fancies another from distance. Jamie Gibson over the top of that, being slapped by Nick White. But Carl Dixon happy for him to be there.
Good competition.
Simmons. Slade seeing a little bit of space to the right of Arsi Tuala, and he just shepherds it to the touchline.
Okay. Time.
So here's the change. Alex Mitchell on for Cobus Reinach. We're told that they're actually putting this down as a tactical substitution on the sheet. But we can see he's not entirely fully fit either, Cobus Reinach.
He's had a super season, Reinach, hasn't he? But when he's been injured, Mitchell's come in and played, and I think he's played really, really well this year. He's been a great find for the Northampton Saints team.
Won by the returning Laws. Harrison again takes the hit but holds on to possession.
No, three, no. You're at the side. Use, please.
Here is Mitchell, his first job. The long clearing kick. Good distance up to halfway, but Woodburn was underneath it, and off we go again with Noel. Cuthbert offering himself. Noel, in the end, taken down low by his ankles by Ludlam.
The second man in. Second man in. Ruck.
What a disappointing penalty again. The referee said no to him. He's the second man in. The ruck is already formed. What a disappointing penalty to give away again. And Saints have really got to sort out their discipline. You can't give Exeter Chiefs this many chances and then for them not to score.
And that off the boot of Slade really will now threaten from this attacking line out. And still 60 seconds to go on Alex Waller's yellow card. So for one final time, for one last big effort in this latest set, Saints defensively a man down and in a critical position. Won by Hill. Again, he's complaining that He was taken out in the air. This time, Carl Dixon happy to continue. Gibson doing what he can to get his hands in the porridge. Not able to do it effectively enough, and the try will be scored by Kvesic. Through the rabbit hole, Matt Kvesic and Chiefs stretch ahead again and tighten their grip on top spot.
A well set up maul from the Chiefs, really built well, and you see they split open through the middle, and Kvesic comes through. Great body height again, but that's all come about because of the ill discipline of Northampton Saints.
I don't record it wrong.
Well, Kvesic has been back to his buzzing best this season. Chipped in now with 8 Premiership tries. Shortlisted for the Premiership Player of the Season. Wearing number 8 as well because of the injuries to Sam Simmons and the absence these days of Thomas Waldrom. He's switched from 7 to 8, and he's looked like his old best again this season, Andy.
Oh, he's been superb, and credit to Rob Baxter. Rob Baxter challenged him last year to work hard to get in the team. He's improved his performance and he's got through that, and I think he's performed really, really well all year. He's been on England's radar, but because of the quality of back row forwards that England have got, he's not managed to break into the England squad this year, but he's very, very close.
What about the conversion? No, not on this occasion. But the first try of the second half, 10 minutes into it, a Chiefs one. Exeter 26, Northampton 21. And Exeter, in the meantime, are making a change in the front row. Thomas Francis on at tight head, Harry Williams off. And Francois Fonfake reverts back onto the bench because Alex Waller's with us again. That's very nicely done by Gibson to slap it back Saints' way. Another try at the Rico. We'll be going to Paul shortly to find out who scored it. How might this impact on Northampton and their hopes of the playoffs? Francis up quickly over the bonnet was his opposite number, Devoto. All the way through for Moon, nearing the end of his breakthrough season. Ludlam, another who's enjoyed a lot of game time. Laid back by Tamana Harrison. And here's Laws. Saints now back up to a full complement, but Exeter, it seems, have just upped the defensive intensity. No way through for Hutchinson. They're being driven back at the moment on their own 10-metre line now.
I think Rob Baxter's had a real good go at the Chiefs at half-time to sort out their line speed, and that's what's coming at the moment.
That was Dave Dennis flying through and winning the ball back, and Ewers. That ball's gone loose, and advantage being played with Moon in the wrong position. White and Ewers thought about the pass to Slade, and in the tackle with Naira Ivoro, the ball was spilt. So, try at the Rico, Paul.
And all Northampton fans will have half an eye on what Wasps are doing, as that directly affects what's going on here. Carry from Nizam Khan, and Joe Simpson. Another stunningly quick scrum half, spots the gap, breaks through, converted. Wasps take control, 17-8.
Joe Simpson, final game for Wasps before he heads to Gloucester next season, and here's how it looks. And right now, it will be Northampton joining Exeter and Saracens and Gloucester in the semi-finals next weekend. Even in defeat, the points here will be enough for Saints, as Thomas Francis comes off. Sam Hill on as well. Alex Cuthbert shaking his head. A little bit of pain perhaps for Cuthbert. Hill is on. Luther Burrell into that Saints midfield defence, and immediately he will be put to work. Hill. Laws over the ball, having a scrap, not winning it. Yendall. Ewers waiting. Hill picking up, finding Ewers, seeing a little bit of space, running into Bigger. Kvesic. Exeter just rediscovering their suffocating best in this area over the course of the contest. Much more like the old Chiefs. They rather went missing over the last month or so, having secured that playoff berth, but this is the team that won it in the first place through the first 7 months of the season, and they're looking to underline the dominance here. Not quite. Ball's loose. Ewers has it. Under a little bit of pressure from Bigger. Armand.
You've got it on your feet. Hold it on.
It's Alex Waller who comes up with it. Now, there's been another try at the Rico. Let's wait to see where this penalty goes to. If it goes to touch, we're heading up to Coventry.
Players on their feet at the breakdown.
Bigger up to halfway.
Well, it's all happening in Cov, Nick. And it's the home team taking control. Lovely ball out of the back here from Sopawanga. Lovan Balavu with the ball to Elliot Daly on the outside. Great pace from him. Turns back and supporting like any good scrum half straight up the middle of the pitch. Joe Simpson goes in for his second. The score 24-8.
Joe Simpson saying farewell to the club that has been his home for so long in some style.
Okay, I was saying to Alex, I didn't see it, so that's why I can go.
I'm sure that scoreline in Coventry will be relayed to Northampton's coaching bench. Whatever happens here, if Quins lose, Saints are in the playoffs. As Luke Cowan-Dickey comes on for Jack Yendall. Only Tommy Hayes has led the Chiefs more in the Premiership now. Moon. Oh, Hutchinson taking the hit. The ball went backwards. Gathered in by Mitchell. So adding his fizz and tempo for Reinach. Plenty of games over the course of the season have been swung Saints' way over the last 20 minutes with the introduction of Mitchell, and they will hope something similar happens here.
Absolutely. He had Kovas Reinach under pressure for his position at the start of the season. And it commonly thought that actually the form of Mitchell is what spurred Reinach into the blistering form he showed the back half of this year.
Running towards the ball.
It's Mitchell's kick caught by Slade.
Not yet. Use, please.
Collins. Here is Mitchell. Tackled by Francis. Tom Wood is preparing to join us. He's down on the touchline. But not before another penalty. Holding the ball on the floor. It's Lewis Ludlam who gets up last of all.
At this time, Exeter Chiefs defence starting to dominate.
Okay, thank you.
David Ribbons and Tom Wood both preparing to come on second row, back row. Now, try it 6 ways. Grace.
Try it 6 ways for departing Argentinian international Marcelo Bosch. Break away from the maul, cheeky little chip from Tom Whiteley. A neat bounce for the old boy and a nice finish.
So it's worth just confirming what all this means at the moment. There's an awful lot going on around the country. That's the top 4. Exeter top, Saracens second, Gloucester third, Saints at the moment in 4th. Quins have got to turn it round at the Rico, and Wasps winning at the moment may well be clinching a place in the Champions Cup next season via 7th. Oh, and then a giant charge through the hole, and Dave Dennis scores. And bit by bit, try by try, point by point, Rob Baxter's Chiefs look like they're finishing the season top of the pile once again.
A great score from the training ground, throwing over the top of the line out, and Dennis coming around the corner. He didn't jump in the line out, he just ran the line, ran it hard. And phenomenal score, and to score his first try of the season like that was a brilliant line.
Nick White just popped out, didn't he? Interested Courtney Laws. Courtney Laws went in for the hit. Tiamana Harrison's eyes were drawn by the second runner outside him. Dennis arrived late, perfectly timed, strolled under the post.
It's how those throws over the top of the line out can just combobulate you a little bit, and you know, the players don't know how to defend it. The backs have come up to make the tackles. Oh, it's a superb line.
And that was Dave Dennis's last contribution, but a very significant moment for Exeter. And Sam Simmons, Sam Skinner is on. Sam Simmons not far behind, it would seem, but Dave Dennis gone, Sam Skinner fit to rampage again on. And there he is, getting his hands dirty straight away.
Use, please. Take a step, take a step.
Tuala gathering the ball. Mitchell. Laws back to Mitchell. Collins and Hill starting to wrestle to win it back for Fish. Confirmation of those changes in the pack for Saints. Moon and Ludlam, the men to give way. Wood, one of the newcomers. And James Grayson with us as well now, having replaced Dan Bigger. He was on for a while Bigger was being stitched up, having an HIA, but Grayson, the younger, on with us now permanently. Here's Hutchinson. Good chip over the top. Still hope for them. Oh, my goodness! Rory Hutchinson again. It's been a gloomy old period for the Saints, but some light there if he's managed to score it.
Yes, Carl.
Try yes or no, please.
OK, stand by.
Oh, the audacity and the ambition and the skill to pull it off if he has scored.
Was a great kick in field.
That's what I believe, but I just want to check.
And to run at that pace and pick the ball up.
We need just before that lead as well.
Yeah.
Well, if it hasn't lost contact with his body, then he will still have it under control if it's attached to the torso.
Well, as they wind it back, are they looking for whether perhaps he tripped Simmons? Accidental for me.
That is accidental.
David Rose, the TMO.
That might be short, you know.
I think it is short, but also I don't think he really gathers it. He loses the possession. Would be a TMO.
Ollie Woodburn has done a wonderful job to disrupt affairs if he has prevented this try. Yeah, maybe just a little bit short, and maybe he has lost control by the time they get to the line.
Okay, Carl.
Yes.
He's lost it forward before he gets to the line, so it's a knock-on Scrum 5. Yeah.
As you say, the great work of Ollie Woodburn to chase back and just get a hand in there as well.
Number 16 viewers and taking the field, number 20, Sam Simmons.
Listen to the roar. It's not necessarily for the work of Dave Ewers, that, who's been replaced. It is for the return of that man. Sam Simmons, knee back to full working order, involved again for the first time since September to try and bend affairs, engineer affairs into the semi-finals, maybe into the final. And hats off to the medical team as well, because that looked like a season-ending injury, but they've done so well to get him back onto the pitch in time to at least play a bit more part at the end of it. Remember, he only played 4 games in September before the injury. He scored 5 tries. He started out like a steam train.
That's some return, isn't it? Blisteringly quick. He was catching people out in the wide channels. Great to see him back.
Chief Scrum drawing the penalty. There's been another try at the Rico. Starting to think if it hasn't gone to Quins, then Northampton might be safe and sound. Let's see who has scored it. Paul.
Yeah, Northampton can't rest easy yet. Quins aren't going down without a fight. Danny Kerr, sneaky here around the side, spots the base of the post. Impossible to defend it. Dots it down, gets the score converted. Score now 24-15. Quins need to win if they're to haul back Northampton to go fourth.
Just underlines the importance of that 3T graphic above Northampton's score. What the bonus point might be worth, with Quins a long way from giving it up in the West Midlands. This is Cowan-Dickey. Simmons.
Use, please.
Nick White still with us, as is Johnny Hill. Gibson trying to put pressure on the kick. Collins running towards it aggressively.
Back off Black.
And it came back off Black into the arms of Gibson. Mitchell with that quick service. Grayson, Hutchinson to Nayaravoro. A net of 3 Chiefs players around him. One of them was Slade, who stood up strongly. Laws. Mitchell, and Grayson, now Hutchinson on the side arc.
Just mark that for his loop, just in case, thank you.
Chase backwards for Slade.
Just hold. Stay where you are.
Collins. It's just starting to rain. Slippening up the pitch, slippening up the ball. Grayson, under some pressure, does really well to find Hutchinson, and likewise finds Nayaravoro. And here goes a great big truck down the middle lane of the M5. He will take some stopping, and goodness me, Simmons did it. He's a slip of a lad. He's half the size of Nayaravoro, but he stopped him.
Yeah, super tackle, got nice and low. Nayaravoro kept the ball alive though, which is great play for the Saints.
Which means that David Ribbons can be industrial with it. Over the top, Hutchinson, Gibson, Harrison. Oh, it's gone forward. just to underline the importance of the try-scoring bonus point, should it come for Northampton, it would mean that Harlequins would need 3 points to overhaul them in the table.
Yeah, exactly, and they're unlucky just now with Hutchinson. They've been so close to getting this this bonus point. And the way that they're playing, it looks like they will be able to achieve that. I firmly believe that. However, Exeter Chiefs have come out in the second half and they've been very physical. They've really improved their defensive efforts from the first half. And they've got players now on the field that have come to prove a point. They want to get in the team. Look at Sam Simmons, Karen Dickey. They all want to push for a place in the starting team.
There's Billy Keast, youngster who's been enjoying more and more game time this season. Looks like he's not far away from joining us for Ben Moon. A little over 15 minutes to go. 15 minutes from finishing top for the Chiefs. 15 minutes from being in the playoffs and back here next weekend for Saints. Penalty drawn. White with Woodburn up in close attendance, but will come back.
A real Achilles heel for Northampton Saints, the scrum. Great work from Francis, great work from the whole front row. Karen Dickey, Francis scrummaging so well. And they're just drawing penalties, which gives them a release out of their own 22. And with the kicking games that Simmons has, it gives them territory, gives them possession, and now they can start launching their attacks again.
Try the AJ Bell, Paul.
Another one from the AJ Bell. It's an absolute barnstormer. After Clerk, Ben Curry here with a little show and go, gets his arms free. Good offload again to the Clerk. AJ McGinty in support, hits the quicksand about here, manages to find Dennis Olomona, and have a look at this for a finish. Absolute class, takes the score to a ridiculous 43-41.
It's not always only this way on the last day of the season, but it does seem to be particularly on the last day of the season, doesn't it? But it's been the kind of Premiership where we've been having games like that, punctuating the whole campaign.
And you can't.
James Lang has just scored a penalty for Quins that has pulled them back to within 6 points, 24-18. Remember, however, they kicked off 5-6 minutes earlier than us, so they're into the final 10 minutes there. And looking ahead, Saints are back here next weekend. Picked up 1 or 2 bangs along the way.
It's been very physical, this game.
Reinach, Francis, Reece Marshall, may well have Dylan Hartley back on the coach, but they've taken some collateral over the course of the hour.
Swans backwards.
A little peep of the whistle. White brought back. Here we go. There's the top 5, and Northampton and Quins separated only by matches won, which is the first criteria for separating teams. Saints have won 11, Quins have won 10. And at the moment, that's the difference between being in the playoffs next weekend and being by a swimming pool.
And your prize for making that 4th spot is a trip down here. That's some task, isn't it, when they're just starting to crank through the gears, Exeter, and remind everybody why they've cantered to the regular season title.
Yeah, we spent a lot of the match looking at it from a Saints perspective because they're playing for the top 4, but we're not losing sight, Andy, of just how much better, how much like their old selves Exeter have been today.
Yeah, well, particularly the second half. The last 30 minutes, they've really dominated. They've brought some real physicality in their defence. The ball carriers have started getting over the line. They've been a lot more accurate in their play, with the exception of the maul they've just turned over. But they've been performing really well this second half.
They've really cranked up that physicality and the line speed that leads to it, and all the things, all their trademarks really. They've been working through, trying to get some emotion back into their game, and as soon as they're on the front foot and active, they're a champion team.
Fish to the front, to Ribbons. Once again, Saints with a dozen minutes to find that fourth try that, as we continue to suggest, may be significant, and the bonus point score that would come along with it. This is Franks and his brother Owen, moving in alongside him next season. New Zealand's most capped prop. Oh, no way through there for Ribbons. That was a hefty welcoming party.
That's a great example of the way that the Chiefs have really stepped up their defence. From a tactical side of this, I think that the Saints have got to think about kicking the ball a little bit more. I think they've got to put the ball in the air just to get some contestables, just to turn this defence, because at the moment the Chiefs are very comfortable in the way they're defending.
He's restored to full fitness in time for him to contribute as well in this push for the playoffs. Johnny Hill, once again catching the eye as he has so often this season.
Use it, please.
White taking all the time he's allowed. Tuala. That's gone forward, gathered by Kovacic, and Chiefs can reload and go again. Simmons with Noel Herring after it. Nairavoro trotting back, inviting the ball to go. Oh, now did he touch that? What does Luke Pearce think? What does Luke... I'm not sure that Luke can make up his mind. Let's have a look at this replay. No, he doesn't.
No, he's okay.
He toyed with it, though.
3 man, get back.
Harrison has done a lot of hard work trying to drive the ball out of areas like this for Northampton today.
Now use it, please.
Grayson waits in the in-goal area. Might be Mitchell with the clearing kick. Oh, it is, and Skinner wasn't far away. And who's earned Test match recognition this season, earning his caps with Scotland for the first time.
And he performed really well for Scotland. Really stepped up in the second row and in the back row. Good find for them.
Into the final 10 minutes, and here goes White. Chiefs looking to put the lid on it. Noel. No way through for Cowan Dickey. Simmons gives it another blast. Skinner, a couple of steps backwards. I'm not sure it'll come to him just yet. Instead, it's Johnny Hill. Keast. Once more, Saints in deep defence with their studs on their own try line. How on earth can they get themselves out of this netting? Oh, not sure they can. Try scored. Carl Dixon confirms it. Luke Cowan-Dickey has it. They're absolute beasts, a metre from the try line. There is no escaping that Chiefly threat.
It looked like he watched the Otter at half-time, the way he was burrowing over the line. Great from Nick White to get the line break and to keep the ball alive. You know, he recycles that ball. Superb support, and this is what the Chiefs do so well. Any one of their players, anyone in the pack can get over that line, supported from a player from behind that drives them over the line. It's those last couple of inches where they keep their legs going low, with a low body height that allows them to get over the line and score. This doesn't matter for the Northampton Saints though, because all they need to get is a bonus point, so that they can go down the other end now, and it's about trying to turn the ball over from this kick-off. Exeter Chiefs are making a number of changes, so the players will be coming on. They've still got this chance in the last 6 minutes to to score a bonus point try.
There's been another penalty kicked at the Ricoh Arena. Lima Sopoaga has kicked it for Wasps. Wasps stretch their lead again to 27-18, which means that Quins, as it stands, are in 6th position in the league.
Here's the try. Scored by Luke Cowan-Dickey. Around half dozen now for the Chiefs. Henry Slade's been replaced. Nick White's been replaced. Gareth Stevenson's on. Jack Maunders on. And
gone forward of someone empty on the floor.
Joe Simmons has gone to fullback.
Well done, Northampton Saints. They've turned the ball over. Good kick from James Grayson and superb chase by Tuala. Tuala's played really well today. He's been great in the air and he's forced that turnover. He's an attacking platform for them to score from.
It's part as well, Paul, of an increasingly settled looking back three. Him and Collins and Nairavoro, certainly over the last month or so, look like the nailed-on first choices.
Yes, and they get plenty of opportunity to, by the way Northampton play, they get plenty of opportunity to be involved in the game. They use Nairavoro from first phase because he's a giant. But Ace, as they call him, Tuala the fullback, he's in either position, wing or fullback. He has quite a calming presence and makes a lot more breaks than perhaps you'd expect.
Well, he's great footwork, didn't he? He's superb in the tackle contest.
5 minutes to go. Exeter have wrapped up top spot. They'll be top of the shop, the Gallagher Premiership, at the end of the regular season once again. But Saints still looking to absolutely rubber stamp the playoffs. And it'll be a penalty. Ball wasn't released. At the moment, Northampton, without having wanted to rely on Wasps for a favour, are getting the favour from Wasps. But they'd like to contribute themselves with this bonus point try.
Sorry?
James Fish. Gibson calling it. It goes to Ribbons at the front and Fish engages. And he has the ball in his side pocket. Chiefs determined that there will be no Northampton momentum from this driven line out, but if Saints can find it, that fourth try might come within reach. Inch by inch, they're getting closer to the try line. If they get it down, they'll be over the line. Oh, they've lost it, and Steenson snatches it away to Sam Hill, and now Devoto, and wonderful stuff from Woodburn, and now Simmons, and they've taken it out of the 22. It's been an extraordinary game for moments when you thought one side have to score and the other then looked the likeliest.
That's great adventure from both sides. Northampton Saints getting so close to the line with their maul. Unfortunately turning the ball over just as they were going over the line. As we see here, they're driving forward over the line.
Let's go then, lads.
It looks like Tom Wood the ball just comes out. Steenson drops it, but manages to get the ball passed away. And great attacking attempt.
Crouch. Bang. Sit.
We're hearing there's been another try at the Ricoh. We will go to it shortly. Meantime, Northampton looking for one of their own that could be so valuable, but again, they just can't take that opportunity.
Who's ball?
Are you happy with that was flat?
Flat, I didn't think it was forward.
Okay, so he was in touch.
Touch?
Yeah.
Touch. Okay, touch. Red ball, touch. Thank you.
Let's go to the Ricoh.
Okay,
Who's got the try? Grace.
let's go, Red, please. How many?
Try comes for Quins. Elia replacement hooker on. Well set. got the backs involved, grinding away, edging ever closer to the line, ever closer potentially to a win that takes them into 4th place. Converted, they're 27-25 behind.
And you'd have seen the time as well in Coventry. Their second half has been much slower than ours, so we're pretty much running side by side time-wise now. And it's not yet done for Saints, and we're getting the end to the season playoff-wise that the season has deserved. So many talking points, so much drama, so many twists and turns, and again on this final weekend of the regular season. At the moment, it's Northampton in the playoffs, but there's still a couple of minutes to go.
Use, please, 9.
As things stand, Quins with 1 losing bonus point. Northampton with nothing, but on matches won, they will qualify. They will finish in the top 4. Quins have to score in the time that's left at the Rico. Saints somehow can wrestle the ball back and get a try of their own. From an Exeter perspective, they're just happy to run time down, Andy. This is nearly done for them.
And they're winding the clock down. They played very well in this second half. They're just winding the clock down. Northampton Saints can't get anywhere near the ball. The clock is in the red.
Time's up. And the Chiefs will finish top of the pile. Game face back on, back in business for Northampton.